Welcome, everyone. This is Julie Rasmussen, and I'm here today with Terry Jeffries.
Hey guys.
And anyways, today's mastermind is actually for our referring agents at the end. In the beginning part, we're going to talk to you about just an extremely brief overview of what Express Offers is in case anyone is in here that doesn't know what it is. Then we're going to talk about what an EXP referring agent is and then what the duties of the EXP referring agent is. Then after that, we're going to talk about the rules of engagement for our investors as well as the benefits to the investors. Then we're going to go over the onboarding process and then how to find iBuyers or investors. Just give you guys some ideas on how you might be able to find some to bring into the platform. And then we'll go over just some brief platform stats just so you guys can kind of see the big picture of everything. And then we're going to switch into mastermind mode so that once you are a referring agent, how do you get other EXP agents engaged and submitting properties to the platform? So that's what we're going to do. The first thing here is brief overview of the program, which is eXp Realty built a proprietary iBuying software platform called Express Offers that allows eXp agents to connect their clients with institutional buyers who buy in cash within a short time frame. This exclusive listing tool allows our agents to provide a convenience option to their seller clients. So that's what Express Offers is. And I just wanted to remind you guys that it's Terry and I that do all of the iBuyer onboarding on the team. We do have a new team member, and her name is Tina, and we're going to introduce her at the beginning of June, and she will be helping all of you with property submissions. So then you'll start to see her on our team slides and just more often in general, of course. And this is what a referring agent is, according to us in our program. A referring agent is the EXP agent that introduces an iBuyer to the Express Offers platform. I guess I didn't really mention on my slides. I guess here's the point. If you bring in an iBuyer, because I didn't put this on a slide, so I guess we should talk about it. The incentive for you to help us find some investors to bring into the Express Offers platform is that you receive 1/3 of the platform fee, and the average platform fee is $2,400. And I say that because there were a few that came in before Terry and I started the onboarding process, and they may have a different amount. So we tell all investors, and this is what you can tell investors, is that the platform fee is $2,400. So some of the things that you have to, these are kind of your duties, and we call them affirmations. And when you introduce the iBuyer into the onboarding process, which I'm going to go over in just a minute so that you guys are familiar with that, but this is what you affirm that you will do or help us with. So you're basically, kind of affirming all these things, which is I'm a certified Express Offers agent as well as have actually logged into the platform. And of course, if your state's not open, that doesn't apply. I verified that the iBuyer has not already been introduced to the platform by a different EXP agent because we're really careful about that so that you guys, if you introduce someone, that somebody else doesn't come behind and introduce them and they get the credit for it. So we have a spreadsheet and we keep track of that. So we do also double check that. Then the next one is I can vouch for the quality of the iBuyer. In other words, I've worked with them in the past or have some form of familiarity with the iBuyer. Now, the whole point behind this was we didn't want you guys to just throw anyone into the pot. We really want you to give us some quality buyers, right? So we were hoping that you at least have some kind of knowledge of them in your market for doing something, or you've worked with them on a relocation, or who knows, but you should at least know what their goals and stuff are and make sure that it actually makes sense to be in our platform. Then the next one is I've introduced and explained the program and its benefits to the iBuyer without exaggerating or overselling the concept. The next one is I verified that the iBuyers do not have their own brokerage that actively engages outside consumers to list and buy properties other than their own portfolio. In other words, they can't be a competing brokerage like Remax, Keller Williams, etc. And the last one is I've obtained the buying entity's articles of incorporation and a cash proof of funds that matches their entity name. And we can go into why on that. Actually, Terry, maybe you can step in and just say why we're so picky about the articles of incorporation and the proof of
Yeah,
funds.
guys, so looks like we've got about 15 people in the room, and I'm curious, are all of you certified? So raise your hand if you're certified.
Or chat box, whatever.
Chat box, yeah, yes, no, certified. Yep, 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 yep.
Driving, but I
Okay. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Let's see. We've got Leon. I can't say your name. Leonilla. Wait. Unmute your mic. Tell me how to say your name.
Leonila.
Leon. One more time.
Leonila.
Leolila. No,
Yeah,
Leonila.
I went in the training earlier, and I have to do a repeat because I had one error in the test.
No worries. You should be able to get back in there, and if you get stuck, let us know, and we'll give you a article that'll help you navigate. So it looks like everybody in the room, for the most part, has been certified. So we basically expect you to understand the program. We expect you to understand how Express Offers works from an agent perspective and then be able to explain it to an iBuyer relationship that you have in your backyard. So in the last bullet point of this slide, I have obtained the buying entities articles of incorporation and a cash proof of funds. So what you guys really need to understand here is that as a company, as EXP and as Express Offers, we have a brand promise that we have to maintain. Okay. And so the marketing that's going on right now, our brand promise is basically saying to the consumer that, look, we have a marketplace of buyers who buys in a short amount of time in cash. We can save you, you know, staging and showing and repairing and inconvenience and all of those things. So, in order to maintain that brand promise to the consumer, when we are onboarding our institutional investors, we have to make sure that they are who they say they are. So, in other words, and they also have to, um, we also have to make sure that they are buying as who they say they are, and that they are buying in cash and that they're not using hard money, lines of credit, Uncle Joe's money, whatever. We have to make sure that all of these things line up. So, as a referring agent, we're going to ask you guys to make sure that you've got the articles of incorporation for this LLC or S Corp. All of these investors are big time. And so they have corporations, tax shelters, whatever, set up to purchase properties under. So the articles of incorporation have to match the proof of funds letter. So the proof of funds letter needs to demonstrate that they can buy a property in the buy box price range in cash. Okay, so most of the time we're going to ask for a bank statement. Of course, you need to redact all of the account numbers, right? Or an investment account or a proof of funds letter written by a personal banker. We get them in all kinds of formats. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that ABC Investor, which is listed on the Articles of Incorporation, matches ABC Investor, which is on the proof of funds showing that they have liquid cash, right? And then ABC Investor is the person that goes on the purchase contract. And then, of course, ABC Investor is the name that shows on the master settlement statement or closing statement at the closing. All of those things have to line up. And so, what we do when we're onboarding your referral is we make sure that we can get the articles and the proof of funds to match up. We do a discovery call to explain the pros and the cons and the forwards and the backwards of this platform to the institutional investor. And then if they're comfortable and they agree to our rules of engagement, which Julie's going to cover in a second, then we will move forward. Okay. Again, Julie's point, there are 55,000 of you. There are now 3 of us. And so we have over 100 live buyers in our platform with over 400 live buy boxes. So this is a beast of a project to manage. And our referring agents, because you are going to get 1/3 or $800 of that referral fee every single time, I'm sorry, of that platform fee, every single time an iBuyer closes, we are um, asking you to be the ancillary arm of the Express Offers team. So that's why we're talking about this today. We want to make sure you understand what a vital part you are to the success of this program being our referring agents.
Exactly. And I'll go over the onboarding process in a second so you guys don't have to try to memorize any of that. We put the steps in here in just a minute, so. On the next slide, so this is what we just want to show you what we tell investors basically so that we're all on the same page when you're talking to an investor and we're talking to an investor. We just want to make sure we all look professional, right? So we've made these rules of engagement, which Terry covers during our discovery call with them. And then also she emails them these, inside of an email after the discovery call. And at the bottom of that email is where they fill out their information, which I'll explain to you in a minute. So I don't want to go into that too much, but just so you know, we go over these rules with them, and then again we email them the rules, so like they definitely know these rules. So so let's cover what they are real quick. And I don't want you guys to get stuck on that first one on the purchases 25 houses per year in the states that are they aren't even open yet, because we have these last 7 states that we need to open, and in those states we know that the population is much lower than everywhere else, so we understand that there's a national shortage in inventory, that prices are crazy. And the most important point for you guys to know is don't get stuck on the number 25. What we care about the most is that they do need to be a full-time professional investor, and that this can't be some kind of side hustle or mom and pop operation, because it's a risk to our consumers. So we just need to make sure they are professional investors and buy in cash, and the other rules that we're going to talk about here. And then on the third one where it says no internal brokerage serving outside consumers, the point of that is that if a lot of the iBuyers do actually have a licensed agent, or they are themselves licensed and they may have a brokerage, but the point is that it has to be used only for buying and selling their own portfolios, and that they're going to see this actually inside of the master service agreement when they get to that point to sign that with us in our legal department. So it's important that we're all, transparent and clear on this, that, it's not a problem if they're a licensed agent. It's not a problem if they buy and sell their own properties. It's just if they have a franchise or they're Keller Williams or something like that. So that's just to clear the brokerage thing up. So number 4 is respond to submissions within 48 hours. I know some of you guys have submitted properties and gotten no response, but I can promise you that we hound them on this when they, sign up. So we're sorry if they do that. We don't have a legal recourse for that, but we do want you to know that we definitely, brainwash them on that side whenever possible. Number 5, they have to offer or give a pass with a reason on each property, again, so that you guys can give feedback to your sellers, and we don't want you to be disappointed, of course. And number 6 is that the invoice, and this is Terry will do this part about the invoice. So she'll make sure that the invoice is given to you guys, and then also to, for you to give to the title companies to make sure that that platform fee is actually on the closing statement. Number 7 is option to
Julie,
relist. Yeah.
Can I interrupt you right there?
Mm-hmm.
As long as we're on the subject of the invoice,
Yeah.
what you guys need to understand, the way that this works, when you sell a property and you are the transactional agent, okay, you're going to represent either the buyer or the seller or both. Going to, of course, put your transaction into SkySlope. You're going to upload the required paperwork based on the checklist in SkySlope, right? And as long as the contract compliance people check off all your paperwork and everything's in order, you will get paid, right? That's how it works. We all know that. As a referring agent, okay, as a referring agent, not the same as the transactional agent. So the referring agent has introduced the iBuyer to Express Offers. Transactional agent is the person, of course, that put buyer and seller together. So the transactional agent is responsible for putting everything into SkySlope. We send an invoice copy to the iBuyer, to the transactional agent, and to the referring agent. We're figuring that by getting that document to all 3 of you, somebody is going to make sure that it is on the HUD, or the master settlement statement, or the closing statement, whatever you guys call it. Okay. As the referring agent with the relationship with the iBuyer, if they have a problem or they don't understand, of course, it's your job to tell them. And it's also your job to circle with them before that closing to make sure that that invoice is being paid by the buyer as an expense on the master settlement statement. Okay, because let me explain to you what happens. It gets a little confusing, and rightfully so. All right, the transactional agent sees this platform fee show up as a bonus on their DA, on their disbursement authorization. Okay, $2,400 bonus. Wait a minute, what is that? Okay, and they don't do express offers transactions all the time, so they're not clear on what this is and what it does. Okay, the only way that the title company can pay eXp Realty correctly is by adding that iBuyer platform fee to the disbursement authorization. So when you guys are transactional agents and you see the DA, you are going to see $2,400 as a bonus on your DA. Now keep in mind, transactional agent doesn't get any of that. They don't get a dime of it, right? That's the platform fee paid by the buyer, right? EXP gets 1,600 of it. The referring agent, you, if you're the referring agent, you're going to get 800 of it. But it has to be processed through the closing and through the commission statement for the transactional agent. Clear as mud, right?
And then Terry too, don't you need like at least one time there, isn't it the W-9 that you need from the referring agent also to make
Yeah,
sure that
I'm
like the
always
first
gonna,
time?
yeah, and it's unfortunate, but the payment processing side of express offers and the payment processing side of actual transactional commissions don't really talk to each other. So it's if you are a referring agent and if you are about to get an $800 referral fee, I'm always going to ask you for a new W-9. And you're going to say, Terry, my God, I already gave one to EXP. They pay me commissions. Why do we need another one? Look, I get it. I totally get it.
We don't like it either.
We don't like it either. But the two systems don't talk to each other. So basically, I have to have a W-9 so that you can get your referral fee, and you're going to get your referral fee in the form of a check mailed to your house. Okay? Not as convenient and streamlined as we'd like, but you know what? We are evolving every day. And with the scaling of this program and the volume of transactions that are starting to come, we're going to have to start doing something a little differently. So stay tuned. That may be changing.
Yes, a lot of the pain points that you guys may have, we do too. So we know what needs to be done. So Lisa
Wait,
said,
hold on a second. Let's
yeah, Lisa
answer
said, so
Lisa's
the
question.
referral fee isn't made to the broker and then paid to us.
The referral fee is paid to eXp Realty, and it's not a referral fee. It's a platform fee. The iBuyer pays $2,400 to eXp Realty, and then eXp Realty pays the referring agent, possibly you, Lisa, the $800 referral
And
fee.
let's be clear on that too, Terry. How does that $800 come to them currently?
In the mail via check.
Yes, a paper check. So you guys don't be shocked. So we just want to be transparent about every single thing we know for
Yeah,
at this
but here's
point.
the thing. So don't sweat it, because once it actually arrives, open it up, open your phone, open your mobile
Yep,
banking, take a picture of it, deposit it.
done.
That's the best I can tell you.
Yep. So sorry about that, but that's how it is for now. And again, we will try to improve as we go. And then
Doug,
Doug,
hold on.
yep.
Yeah,
Platform fee is reported as a 1099 from,
you bet.
so it's just on your 1099 from eXp Realty, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a referral fee, just
Yeah.
like any referral fee. The
Terry and
only
I are not
difference is
eligible for
how
this, so
you,
we don't know. We don't receive one for it.
well, it's going to go on your 1099 just like any other payables from EXP. So it'll be included in that.
Okay. Um, Terry, did you want to talk about Tina's comment? It could be thought of
What's
as
it
a
got?
membership fee for the
It
iBuyer.
could
That's how I think
be
of it.
thought of as a membership fee for the iBuyer. That's how I think of it. Well, it's actually, I
It's
don't
an
know about a
acquisition.
membership fee.
It's
It's
an,
an acquisition fee.
yeah.
So when we built this platform, we did a lot of research in terms of the industry standards. And we interviewed quite a few institutional investors and discovered, and also we looked at the research based on Open Door, OfferPad, and Zillow Offers. what we discovered was industry-wide, statistically speaking, acquisition cost per property for an investor is about $4,900 per house. So as an investor, they're either spending money on marketing, on soliciting, on acquisition costs, on, all kinds of things. Average is about $4,900 a house. So what we did is we made a blanket decision to charge the platform fee at 2,400. So basically they are paying us to not only use our web platform, but to utilize the army of our agents who are serving them up leads.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the
So
benefits on the next slide too. So that's part of it. Yeah.
that's right. So the platform fee is just that. It's the cost of acquisition for the institutional investor to get their hands on this property.
And us, Terry, because we're running the program. So that fee pays for us to be working on this program as well. So
Yeah,
hopefully you
and
guys
by the
think
way,
we're
you
worth it.
guys, yeah, and by the way, you guys, that is, a fraction, less than half of what
It's
they're used to
way, yeah,
paying.
exactly.
So when you have this conversation with investors in your marketplace, you can feel confident knowing that they shouldn't even bat an eye at that $2,400 platform fee because that's way less than what they're used to paying.
Yep. If they flip, they get a huge benefit in commission saved to sell. That's right. Yep, and so that's like, yeah, and thank you because that translate puts us back on track here for number 7, which is they have the option to relist with our EXP agents for 1.5% if they do fix and flip. Obviously, buy and hold, they're going to buy and hold it, right, and keep it in their rental portfolio, so they won't be selling it with us. But a fix and flipper has that option if they want to relist it with us for a 1.5% commission. And we go over this with them in the onboarding and we encourage them to do it. But we also give them a caveat that they're not allowed to put, yes, they'll relist with us in the buy box if they're not going to do it, because we don't want any of you disappointed. So we always are really clear on that during the onboarding process. But you guys will go through that process with us if you introduce an iBuyer. So that's the cool thing, is you'll get to go through it. You'll hear exactly what we say to them because you'll be in the discovery call with us. So that's something that's fun. And number 8 here is that they have to provide an updated POF, proof of funds, every 2 months. So that's just what we tell them, and that's what we expect you guys to help us with, that proof of funds part. On the next slide, it's the benefits to investors. Now, keep in mind, you guys, I made these slides this morning, so these aren't all the benefits, so there may be a few that I missed, but we have an article that gives the benefits for the iBuyers for you guys so that you can study that, understand it before you ever speak to an iBuyer. And that is also in the knowledge database. It's in the pinned post. In the very bottom of the pinned post, you'll find that the 2 articles, how to introduce an iBuyer and the benefits to investors. So it's not like if I made a mistake here and forgot a couple things, that's the point. And here's what Terry was talking about on number 1, a new lead source. There's like 6,000 certified agents now, almost. So it's like that's them, so they have access to those agents, and of course that's going to grow and grow and grow as we all grow the company and as we all, meet more agents. You guys should also be telling people about express offers, because we should all be encouraging other agents in the company who like to do listings that they need to know this tool and that they may use it someday. So we should all be encouraging everyone to get express offers certified. So the next one, number 2, is they only pay the platform fee if they close. And I said average on there again, you guys, because some people that came in before Terry and I pay 1,500 per closing and some pay 3,600. So that's why I say the average. Anyone that comes in from now on with you guys will be 2,400. Number 3 is the seller pays commission only on the listing side. So there's no buyer side commission. Terry, is there anything you want to add on that one
I'm
about
sorry,
commission?
Julie, where are
Anything
you?
on the benefits to investors? I just want to know if you want to add anything about commission, because I know sometimes people balk at the commission, the way it's
Yeah,
handled.
so no problem. You guys, look, we have got to get agents out of this mindset of living paycheck to paycheck. And what we really want to do is, kind of give you the big picture on this. As you know, through the training, you only get to charge the seller the listing side of the commission. Okay, whatever that is. If your standard rate is 6, then you can charge them 3. If your standard rate is 5, you should charge them 2.5. Whatever your listing side is. Okay, so an agent's balk at that right off the bat. I'm not working for half of my commission. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. First of all, if you learn this program and you get good at it, you should be able to visit with the seller. That takes an hour. Get the paperwork signed. That takes a half an hour. Come back to your office, upload it into the Express Offers platform. That takes a half an hour.
The
So
first
the
one might be
bottom
a little
line
longer
is,
though, just so
well,
you guys know, because you've
I'm
never
going to
done
be
it.
in,
Because you've never
whatever.
done
I'm
it.
going to be in and out in 20 minutes. But
Exactly.
the point is, guys, this is a very, very limited amount of man hours put in to return a result of half of the side of the commission. Okay. Then you're going to get the listing back. Yes, at another discount, 1.5% on the listing side. And I know you think that's terrible, but I'm telling you, if you see what this actually is, you get a fully rehabbed, beautiful, top of the market listing back that, number one, you can pre-sell. And if you don't know what that means, we'll have to have another class on that another day. You can pre-sell it, and you can collect all of that buyer data and all of that pool of buyers that's going to be generated from you listing this now beautifully squeaky clean, newly remodeled house that is at the top, tippy top of the price range in that neighborhood. So you should be able to take that buyer pool and convert them, or give them to your team member, or do whatever you need to do to get the conversion on that buyer pool. So, as we talk about in the training, this could translate into several transactions if you understand the value of one seller lead. If you don't poo poo this right out of the chute and, decide that you're not working for a half of a commission because I don't know, because what, you're too good for that? I don't know. I get all kinds of responses that are kind of crazy in my mind, but just understand that there are so many options, so many transactions that can be created out of one seller lead. Yeah, I'm with you, Lisa. Absolutely. I'm going to take it because, you know, 50% of zero is zero. Goose egg, right?
Exactly. So that's why I just wanted Terry to talk to you guys about commission, because I just thought it was funny because we talk about this a lot when we go to the state meetings and stuff. So I just thought we'd throw in the old commission talk.
Yeah, and I get kind of punky about it. I'm sorry if I come off like that, but it's just like, wait a minute, guys. Look, we are in the business of transactions, okay?
Yep.
And we have to stop cutting off our nose to spite our face because oh, I'm not working for 3%. Well, I'll tell you what, if I can get 3% on a $300,000 house and only put 2 hours worth of work into it, count me in. I'm in.
Exactly. And so here's
Okay,
another.
sorry, Julie. I'm
No,
going to
it's
get off
fine.
my soapbox. You go.
Well, that's why I just thought it was fun when you talk about commission, so it's my fault. I wanted you to talk about it. So number four, though, is the title and escrow company is selected by the investor, so they also get to have control of that. And then on top of that, the closing costs are their choice too. Some of them, and the thing that Terry, that's kind of a negative for our agents is they can't really see how some of these iBuyers do closing costs until they get the LOI and the agent guidelines. So that would be after you've gotten an offer on it and your seller wants to accept it. Then you would get those documents, the LOI and agent guidelines that we're talking about here. You would see those at that point. So that's kind of a thing I wish that we could show you, because some of the investors do pay all the closing costs. Almost all of them just do whatever's local custom, just so you guys know. But the point is here, at least on the investor side of it, is they get the choice. So that's good.
Well, and Julie, they do see an example of the LOI and the gauge and guidelines in the training, in the
Okay, good.
certification training.
Good, good, good. Good. I couldn't remember. It's been so long since I've taken it. Probably should
Yep,
retake certain
it's in
parts.
there.
Okay, good. All right, cool. And then after that, so that they get to decide all of that stuff up front. So they get to have a state form contract sent to them by an EXP agent that has been created based on those agent guidelines. So the point is they get to establish all their, information up front, so then it's better for them. So then it's just less time for them too. So we're saving them time by making the contracts, sending it to them for signature. So then let's talk about the onboarding process, just so you guys are kind of aware of how that works. You guys, the XP agents, prospect for iBuyers, and I was gonna say something about that. I can't remember now. Oh yeah. So basically, I'm going to show you on the next slide. We have some ideas about how you can find investors and stuff, so I won't go too much into that. But The point here is that you can do some prospecting either like in your local market, in states that aren't open yet, to help us, or you can just find, large institutional buyers that are in multiple states as long as they meet our criteria. So that's just what we mean about prospect for iBuyers. And then for the second one, after you have, found an investor that you think meets the requirements that are inside of our article called How to Introduce an iBuyer, then you can find at the bottom of in that, if you guys don't know where that is, the easiest way is in the pin post in our workplace group. So you can go and find that article. And then you'll need to ask them for a cash proof of funds and the articles of incorporation, which we've already talked about. And then the proof of funds, I just wanted to mention this too, can be a bank letter or a redacted bank statement, because the investor, we don't want anyone to see that, obviously, because the investors, you guys are gonna, someone's gonna see their proof of funds, right? So we want to make sure that nothing is showing that shouldn't be. And then on top of that, I just want to remind everyone that there's no lines of credit or hard money. So if you guys get a proof of funds, you need to look at it too, and you need to see if it sounds like a line of credit or hard money. Any kind of conditions on the cash is the problem. So just wanted to remind you guys about that in this step. After that, you guys submit that to us, and then you'll do a quick little introduction email to your iBuyer with us included, and we give you the email address for that. And then after there's an introduction, then we send back an email that has a Calendly link in it so that they can set up the discovery call, and we want you on that. So it should be you and the iBuyer. After that, if the discovery call goes well and we all want to move forward together, because it's kind of like a marriage, then that's when we send them that rules of engagement email, and at the bottom of it there's a link that goes to a Google form, and that is sent over to our legal department, who crafts the MSA for them and then sends it back to them. Hopefully they don't disagree too much, because to be honest, we don't really change the MSA. They sign it, and then we turn around and email them their platform login and credentials. And by the way, you're included on all of these emails, so you'll know where we are in this process. And then after that, they log into the platform just like you guys do, but it just looks different, and then they create their buy boxes. After that, we get an email from the platform that tells us they've created the buy box. I take a look at it and look for quality, because we're getting better about quality now. So we look and see if there's anything on there that doesn't make sense, talk to them about it, edit it, and then we announce everything on Workplace in our Workplace group, and then also in the states where they buy. So that's kind of the onboarding process here, but you'll see all of it because you'll be included in the emails for everything.
Yeah, before you go on, Julie,
Uh-huh.
so go back one. So guys, you don't need to understand, or you don't need to write down, or of course, memorize these steps. We lead you through each one of these steps, and we include you in every step along the way. So, don't worry about, not understanding or writing down this process, because that's what we do, is kind of help you navigate through it.
And I guess I didn't really mention this, but in the beginning of this process, the best way that we like when you guys have the articles of incorporation and the proof of funds, we like it if you make a workplace chat with both of us included, and then we'll rename it the name of your iBuyer. The chat will be named the iBuyer, and so we also communicate through that during this process as well.
Yeah, and Lisa, we're gonna open up the mic here in just a second and start talking about, because we definitely have to be wrapped up by the top of the hour. So I want to hear what you think in your mind just from seeing this. We're so mired in this all day, every day, that unfortunately we lose a little bit of perspective. And so I would love to hear what your cons and pros are for buyers.
But let's wait a second. Let's just get
I'm
through
gonna
this.
put
I
you on
only
the
have,
spot.
I
Yeah.
swear, I only have 3 more slides, and we'll rip through those. Then we can talk about the other thing we want to talk about too. We'll get your feedback if you want, but then we need to talk about how do we engage other agents so that we get more property submissions, which is the key, to be honest, of this program working, and also for the iBuyers to stay in the program. If they literally don't receive property submissions, why would they want to stay? So that's kind of a con, just to think about that. But anyway, let's go to the how to find iBuyers and investors. This is just something that Terry and I came up with really quickly this morning. So this was just our main ideas that we thought about. Especially in your local area, you could do, search on Google for cash offer and then your town's name or your state. That'd be one way to find out who's advertising for that, because all of our iBuyers do organic marketing as well. So you'll be able to find some that way. You can attend local investor meetups, and I used to do that on meetup.com. And also I noticed Facebook has lots of real estate investor groups, so do some searching there. The National Real Estate Investors Association, I just found that this morning. I think that'd be a great place to start. A couple of our iBuyers I know are definitely members of that. Biggerpockets.com, another excellent place for investors, and all of us should be aware of what that is, anyways. And then the last one Terry came up with is a very good idea. Searching for the solds in the tax database and connecting with the title company or your area and looking for buyers with an LLC or corporation. Look for patterns, a company that buys a lot and stuff like that. So those are some of the tips that we got for you guys on how to find some investors in your area or not. The next one then is our last slide actually, so that's good news. This is just so you guys kind of have the big picture of the platform right now, and I don't know, Terry can add a couple comments on this too if she wants, but I got these numbers today off the platform anyway. So this is how many certified agents we have currently, 5,525. We've had 3,351 property submissions, and on those submissions we've had 1,566 offers from our iBuyers on those submissions, which brings us to about a 46% acceptance rate. Or I should say offer rate, sorry. Offer rate.
Yeah, offer rate.
Yeah, which is actually really good, which means a couple of things, at least in my opinion, Terry. I don't know about you, but for me, it means that you guys are doing a good job submitting properties, which means that 46% of the time you're getting an answer on that they actually are interested in making an offer at all, which is, I think, impressive. And then on the other
Yep.
side, we have 100 live iBuyers, and we have several, yeah, I'd say, I don't know, 30 or 40 in the pipeline before that, before being live. And then we have 419 buy boxes. And remember, the buy boxes are the investors' criteria, their investment strategy that they're looking for. And they can choose to make one, they can choose to make five, because it's all based on their particular strategy. If they want to buy at a certain price range in one county versus another county at a lower price range, or maybe they have buy and hold and fix and flip buy boxes, and they want to buy less expensive houses for their buy and holds, more expensive for their fix and flips, it's their choice. That's one thing about the investors also like about this. They get to create their own buy boxes as much as they want, change them up, add a land buy box, land multifamily one, whatever they're looking for. So that's kind of just some platform statistics just to give you guys kind of idea where we are in case you want to, know that information when you're talking to them. Terry, do you have any comments about the stats at all?
No, only that, we're running a little over a 2% conversion rate, you guys, and so
Which is good.
that is actually at the industry standards. So if you look at Open Door, OfferPad, and Zillow offers, they are touting about a 2.4% conversion rate in their most concentrated markets. Okay, we've got 43 states open. We're running just a little over 2%, but also keep in mind, you excuse me, you have to make sure that the expectations are clear, and your iBuyers typically have the right expectations. We are a lead source. They know in their course of operation every single day, they make hundreds of offers on hundreds of houses and close a very small percentage of them because our fix and flip buyers obviously are not offering retail. There's no inventory. Okay. And so right now they are having a really, really hard time being able to build in their margins because there is no margin. So as long as you guys understand and don't get discouraged by the fact that we might have to submit 50 to 100 property submissions in order to get an actual executed transaction in express offers, that's okay. Because what we want our agents to do is use this as an option, present it as a trusted advisor, because the consumers are already hearing about this. They just don't understand it. We have
Yeah.
to make sure they understand
So
it.
if you want to look
And
good,
then the end game for all of our agents is, of course, to take it down the traditional road and sell it for retail or more. So, I think the snags and the negative feedback we get are based on agents not understanding what this really is. So
yep.
I'm sure everybody in this room gets it. So
Yeah.
you want to open it up, Julie, and have
Yeah.
a conversation?
Yeah, if you guys want to have any comments about this part, and then we're going to switch over and talk about what can we do to engage more agents in general. And then I'll write down what you guys are saying and come up with something and put it into the workplace group in some way, or an article or something like that. So Lisa, did you have
So
any comments?
yeah, open up your mics and let's have a conversation.
No, I don't. I mean, I think it's a really great program. And from everything I've read and I've heard, I don't really see a lot of cons. It's not going to cost the iBuyers anything to be a part of the platform in the beginning. So I'm really not seeing any cons with this,
Good.
unless
Good.
Well, and here's the good
unless of
news for
course
you
nobody
guys.
uses it and they don't
Well, that's
submit.
that's the other part, right? The property submissions. And that's why we're
Yeah,
saying it's like so important that we all are aware of the program. So other agents you meet that don't know about it, everyone needs to know about it because there are times when a seller needs a convenience option, and that's when I hope everyone is thinking about express offers.
right. Absolutely.
And I
What
saw
do
the
you,
question about that, about how much cash are you looking for with the investors. The cash part isn't really our concern. It's just that whatever the top end of the buy box is, let's say they want to buy houses up to 400,000, their cash proof of funds needs to be up to 400,000. So that's what you guys need to know when you're talking to them about how much money do they need. They need enough money to buy houses in cash up to whatever range they're hoping for. Does that make sense?
yeah, let me give you an example on that, guys. So we've got an iBuyer in Pennsylvania, right? And he buys in the hood. I'll call
Yeah.
it what it is.
And
He
Chicago
buys
too.
in the
There's one in
hood.
Chicago, Terry.
His proof of funds is up to $85,000, but he's accustomed to buying $30,000 properties. So his proof of funds satisfies what he typically buys all day long. So he gave us the proof of funds, 85 grand in the bank account. His buy box is set up 0 to 85,000. And of course, he is on a mission for EXP agents that work in those areas, and they're out there to submit in properties that meet his buy box. And that's what he wants. So that's what we're going to serve him up.
And Andy's on the phone, I think. So that's Andy's iBuyer because Andy's got a few.
Yeah.
And so what I think is fun that you guys also need to consider too is that we don't discriminate. So if somebody wants to buy, properties in less desirable areas, who are we to judge, right? To let that they're not on we let everyone on our platform that makes sense. Like if it makes sense, there's one in Chicago too, right, Terry? Like in an area that's a little rough as well, and that's great. I think it's great that we have these different buyers in different places that have different needs because that means it brings diversity to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just telling you
Absolutely.
guys,
So
don't
any
discriminate.
questions? 'Cause I got
Hey
about
guys,
5 minutes and I got to
Hey, Dale,
bounce.
I have, I do have a question.
go for it.
In Missouri, there's no land options. I have one for sure that he isn't a franchisee, but he does list his properties. He's an agent and lists his properties through his broker, but he buys a massive amount of land. He is also closely connected to the largest landowner in Missouri who is domiciled in St. Louis. What, because we don't have a land option in Missouri, is there a difficulty with that, or is it just nobody's presented themselves?
Nobody's
Nobody's
presented.
presented themselves, but boy, we would love to hear that. Who was talking? I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Dale, that
Oh,
was Dale.
Dale, so the only thing that we would have to look at is you said that he is an agent and he runs everything through his brokerage. So you're thinking he would be a seller or he would be a buyer?
He's definitely a buyer,
Okay.
and he has a tendency to buy 500-600 acres at a time,
Oh,
break it down, sell
subdivide it.
sell
Yep.
it off. Yeah,
Yep.
so
Yep.
divide it, survey it off. He he sells through RP Land Company, which is his brokerage, his broker, and he also buys. But he's typically has bought at auctions, but people have gotten to know him so well that he buys online at auctions, so they don't know who he is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think my best suggestion would be number one, get him over to EXP. That would be the easiest solution.
Was thinking about that too.
Yeah, that would be the easiest solution because, we've got all these commercial advantages at this point. Plus, we've got express offers. So I'm sure we have a lot more to offer than his land brokerage by a long shot. The only other thing that I'm thinking right off the bat, and we can talk about this offline certainly, but, we have to be very careful that we aren't giving away our secret sauce, right? So
Absolutely.
if he's an agent and he is licensed and he's got his license hung with another brokerage and we give him access to our proprietary software because he wants to be an iBuyer, then we're giving away our secret sauce. We don't want to do that. So if he was just an institutional investor and he just had a real estate license to buy and sell his own portfolio and can kind of prove that, then we might be okay. But if
Okay,
he's actively
makes sense.
soliciting, if he's soliciting the consumer, so if he's listing and selling property for others, then we can't work with him.
He is not. I do know that. He is not. However, his wife does.
See, it's always that damn wife.
Yeah, that happens
You
actually
know.
with more of our iBuyers than you'd imagine.
All right.
Well, let me check and see how important that relationship is.
Okay.
Good. All right. We'll circle back.
Maybe
with
it's
us via
ending.
That was a
chat, Gail.
joke.
Of course.
Via circle back with us via workplace chat.
Very
Okay,
good. Thank
guys.
you.
I'm going to excuse myself. I'm sorry. I'm going to bounce. Julie is.
Yeah.
Julie, can you go ahead and wrap up? And thanks, everybody. We really appreciate you participating. We appreciate your confidence in this program, and we really, really thank you for trying to help us make it better. So, got to go, but see y'all later.
Right. So
Thank
if you
you.
guys are still
guys.
here and you want to talk about property submissions, like how do we get more property submissions? That is one of the things that's difficult once you become a referring agent. In order for your iBuyers to not become unhappy, that's actually the main thing, is getting property submissions. So one of the things I was thinking of, and so obviously you guys mention anything you want, is that like I said before, we should be telling other EXP agents that when it comes to a convenience offer like a distressed seller, a distressed property, etc., they should be thinking of express offers right away. So the more people we have certified, the more the option becomes realistic for them. So that's why I ask all of us to please talk to other EXP agents and just make sure they're certified, so that if those random cases come up where they have distressed properties or whatever, we just don't, selling situations, divorce, death, all the typical stuff, then that is when they should be thinking of express offers. So if everybody's certified, they can easily use the platform when they need to. That's the thing. So do you guys have any other ideas? Because I had another one I just thought of. In your state meetings, if you are a referring agent, I think it's a good idea at the end of the state meeting, or to talk to your state broker before and ask them if you can mention express offers for especially the newer agents that come in. They don't know what they don't know, right? So it's always good to let them know that the express offers program exists and how to get certified, and that's it. You don't have to make a big deal about it. You can just say, if you guys don't know what express offers is, it's a listing tool. So if you're trying to get more listings, at least take the certification and understand it. So what do you guys got?
Hey, Julie.
Yes.
I do know, this is Dale in Missouri. I do know Chris Cribb, who is our DMV from Missouri, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
He's the reason I went ahead and got it, because he mentioned it at one of our state meetings.
Oh, perfect. Good. Well, we do come in. We just went to South Carolina this morning at 6:30 in the morning for me. We went to their state meeting and we talked to them about it. And we do a couple different state ones all the time. So we're always kind of rotating through, trying to find new agents as they, get into the company. So, and Water Cooler too, right, is a good place that we can always, make comments if we see someone that it makes sense that they should, talking about something that, would in some way relate to express offers. You can always ask them if they know about it, and if not, just send them over to the group in the pin post so they can get started, that kind of thing.
I have one question regarding referrals.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say I do have an agent who is not an EXP agent, but they're willing to do strictly just refer to me for a percentage. Am I then allowed to introduce that seller, or does that constitute that relationship you all weren't comfortable with?
Do you mean like another EXP agent?
No, this would be an agent in another brokerage.
Okay.
That
Yeah, no, this totally works for other brokerages. Here's the thing though, you have to look at your buy boxes and see if there is a buy box that will accept MLS listings from non-EXP agents. Because I don't know if you guys remember, we have 3 choices on property sources. There's off market, which every investor wants. Then there's MLS EXP only listings, and we talk almost all of them into taking that option, because that means, let's say one of you has a listing and you just found out about express offers today, but you already have it on the MLS, they'll still look at it. So our investors look at that. If it says EXP listing. And then if it says non-firm EXP listing, that just means that, you can submit like a Remax agent, because I'm sure we're all friends with everybody in other brokerages. I'm sure you guys are too. And so so Express Offers is amazing for a conversation starter, right? So you talk to them about the program, because usually most people are completely surprised that we even have this program. Even if you talk to your family about it, everyone's like, "Wait, that doesn't, so you mean you can sell a house without anyone ever coming to look at it?" Yeah, you know what I mean? So just the conversation starter aspect is a lot of fun. And so then you can, if there is an MLS listing non-EXP, on the buy box, you could hit up other agents in other agencies and let them know Express Offers exists in their market, and that if they ever have a seller's property that makes sense, distressed situation, distressed sellers, distressed property, let you know, because you might be able to submit the property for them and get a cash offer.
Okay, perfect. I was referring to before they put it in the MLS, but okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I don't know. See, now that goes with your MLS and state rules. So in that case, I would definitely talk to your state broker about it, because on those rules, and then just maybe contact your local MLS, because like in my case, I think we have 48 hours to get it on the MLS. So then just make sure with your broker that during that 48 hours that you know which forms to use or how to handle that, because the problem here is that how are you going to get paid if it's
No,
not?
and what I was referring to was that they literally find it, if they find a distressed property, that they literally just send over a referral form with the buyer. Don't even put it in the MLS. They're not even considering putting it in
Okay.
the MLS. They just don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they would maybe opt to send us the buyer. So in that case,
Okay.
it's just literally a raw outside referral form, I would think.
I would think so too, but definitely check. I mean, it's a really good idea. So definitely check with your state broker on that and make sure that we know how to do it legitimately.
Okay, thank you.
Because you do have to have the seller, sign the form.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, the disclosure for
I mean,
for Express Offers. You have to have the
right.
seller sign a disclosure to seller that you can put it through the property. And the only benefit of it being on the MLS in one of those cases is that there's already a co-op established and all of that, and because it's listed by an outside firm, we don't have to get the disclosure to seller for the Express Offers program signed. So that's the benefit of, if you can have a buyer in your market that will take MLS listings. It's nice, because then you don't have to even talk about the disclosure to seller or anything. You just can submit the property for the other agent. So that's why everyone should know what buy boxes you have in your area, and be thinking about that with your strategies on how to use Express Offers. What else do you guys got?
Hey, Julie, it's Andy.
Hey,
Hey there. Are we working on an alert system so that agents can, we sponsoring agents can follow up if a deal goes through and the iBuyer, might miss it? Because I know that's happened to me a couple times in the past.
well, like I was saying on that one, I think the only thing, the fastest thing we can do is add the referring agent's email in the communications that when we send the property email. So that's the other thing too, is you guys don't realize, but Tina is here, and part of her role is that she's going to start looking at that daily. And anytime there's somebody not answering so let's say the iBuyer hasn't seen it, like you're talking about. The iBuyer did not see the property submission and they're about to miss the deal, right? So she's going to be looking every day after like 24 hours, and she's going to be looking to see if and this is a temporary fix, you guys, till we have an automatic, technology solution, of course. But she's going to be checking to make sure that iBuyers are, looking at the property submissions, and then on top of that, either giving you guys a pass with a reason or an offer, right? So she's going to be micromanaging this kind of stuff. And then on the other side of it, we need to make sure that you guys are doing the right thing, which means that you are also responding to their offers, and that you're presenting the offers, because legally we all have to present an offer to a seller. And I've seen a bunch of agents are not presenting offers. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean you don't legally have to present them, right? So there's some little things behind the scenes that Tina's going to be micromanaging, and we will explain that in a couple of weeks when we officially put her out there. We're going to do a video at the end of the month so that you guys will know exactly what she's working on, and then we'll introduce her formally at the beginning of June. And I think that'll help a lot, because she's going to be helping us with the things that we can't stay on top of because it's just too much. So that's a good thing. And then long-term solution, Andy, is that we make a text solution with an alert system where we get. I even talked to an iBuyer the other day, and she wanted us to do texts as well. So instead of an email, texts. Marketing materials, we do have a
Thank you,
hidden,
Julie.
yeah, no problem. So Doug, we have the EXP Marketing Center. We have a hidden section on there on purpose because we don't want agents that aren't trained, to prospect sellers and then find out they don't have access to the platform and they look bad, we look bad. So that's why it's hidden in there. And I do have the link. Just send me a workplace chat and I will send that to you. You guys should be getting that. The slide deck? I don't know if we really want to share the slide deck because this kind of information changes and I don't want you guys to use a slide deck that might change. So you can refer to this information. I'll put a recording on the group so that everyone else can hear what we talked about, but as far as the actual slide deck, anytime we have numbers like that last one with the platform statistics, those change all the time. I actually got those this morning before I did this, so it's not a good idea for that. But you have access to all this information. For example, the how to introduce an iBuyer and the benefits to investors is in the pin post at the very bottom, and also the knowledge database, which is a link, in the pin post. So you can find this stuff easily online, and I do keep all of that really current, so you can feel confident with that part. But yeah, you'll have access to this recording as long as something didn't go wrong while I was doing it. It's still recording, so. If you guys have any questions, I would say workplace chat is the best place. So if you haven't found your answer through training or through the knowledge database, then the next step up would be to contact Terry and I. Did you guys have any other questions? All right, see you, Dale.